Hello and thanks again for tuning into our videos. Today is just going to be a quick video of how we're preparing this bathroom floor. The bathroom floor is 3/4 tongue and groove plywood with 6-ounce standard 2x10 joist, so it's up to code, up to par you can say, as far as being strong enough for porcelain ceramic tile. But we're just taking it one step further and putting a blanket permat down. This allows for actually stone insulation to bring your substrate up to about 720 deflection rating. So we're just going over and above this job because usually when we're in control and the client is not worried about a height issue, we'll put down more plywood. But you know, we figured just use it on this job, and then what we're going to do later on in this video is actually going to do something that I think should be kind of like a standard on most jobs, is that you waterproof the section when you step out the shower. Now if you're using a different membrane in the market, like say Sluter Detroit's plastic, that's pretty much already waterproof. You just got to waterproof the seams around the perimeter. So in this job we're going to put a sheet of curdy pretty much from the shower curb to about the toilet or so and up the curb. Unfortunately, we won't be able to do the sidewall because obviously we got the baseboard heat in there, and then you got the toilet right there, so it makes no difference. But we're gonna, waterproof that front seam there with a piece of Sluter curdy sheet membrane, and that just allows for this bathroom to last, as long as you want for the most part, because a lot of bathrooms that we tear out, might sound obvious to some of you guys listening, and not obvious to other people, because honestly a lot of bathrooms you rip out, the subfloor is going to be rotted out, and then worst case scenario is the joists are rotted out, because over time the water gets through the tile and the grout, it seeps down into the plywood substrate, and when the water can't come out, it gets in there, but it doesn't dry out as fast as it gets in, and when it sits there it's going to rot out that wood. So the rule of thumb is if it can't dry, it's going to die. So when the water gets in there, sits there, it's gonna die. So it's a good idea to waterproof that seam, and I'm gonna show you a quick clip here once we get to it. Okay, now that the permat is down, I'm gonna set the curdy. Now it's always a good idea when you're working with these sheet membranes, to pre-cut them. I dry fit the whole thing. I actually pre-crease it where the inside corner is going to be, so everything sits nice. I'm kind of stating the obvious here, but a lot of people think, well, won't even do that. They'll just spread the inside and cut it, and by the time they do that, the thins actually skin over, and you won't have any bond. So, dry fit everything, pre-cut everything, whatever term you want to use. And then set it. So what I'm using here is a curdy trowel, and that's a 1/8 by 1/8 square notch trowel. Now I actually just set this at the time of this install. The top of the curb was just set that day, so I'm being real careful I don't whack into it and start moving things, because it's nice and level and pitched. We don't want to disturb that. And one thing to mention when you're working with these permats, this permat membrane, it takes up a lot of thin set. So I pretty much just had enough to do this section, but here's a process that we do to waterproof this connection here. So we're going to have a nice watertight seal here. The plywood will never rot, and we'll have a long lasting job. I mean, this is going to be bulletproof. So 1/8 by 1/8 square notch trowel. You want to use an unmodified thin set, usually with curdy, but since we have permat here, they actually call for a modified. So what I'm using is a self-drying modified thin set. Now I'm not going to really name names because there's plenty out in the market. If you really want to know, send us a message or leave a comment and we'll let you know. But in this situation, permat really calls for modified because that gives it more strength than say unmodified. You have a more PSI strength, you could say, if you look at a PDF. So I'm just going to use that in this situation. It will dry, no problem. And we're just going to, show us the process of doing that. And I just want to thank everyone out there from watching our videos, tuning in every week. It really means a lot. It really keeps us doing these videos because they take a lot of time to do them, and I could go on for days, you know, how much time it takes, you know, this, that, and the other thing, what it costs. But, you know, if I could help you guys out there in any way possible, I'm more than happy to do it. You know, if you want to pick my brain at all, feel free to send me a DM. I'm a tile guy, carpenter, so anything in between those, I could probably help you out. And that's it. You know, everyone out there, enjoy yourselves. And what I always say, make sure you have fun. If you don't have fun, you better do something else. So have fun every day. Enjoy life. You never know when today could be your last day. Take care, guys.